Chemtrails are no longer conspiracy theories. What official documents reveal? Look up on any given day, and you'll see them. White streaks trailing behind planes, crisscrossing the sky. For decades, these lines have been called contrails, formed by water vapor from jet engines. But what if there's more to the story? Today, we're diving into official documents, government reports, patents, and historical records to explore what's really happening above us. This isn't about conspiracy theories. It's about evidence, documents you can find yourself. Let's start with history. Weather modification isn't new. In 1946, the U.S. launched Project Cirrus, a collaboration between General Electric and the military. Official reports show they seeded clouds with dry ice to trigger rain. Then there's Operation Popeye. Declassified Vietnam War records confirm the U.S. Air Force used silver iodide to extend monsoon seasons from 1967 to 1972, aiming to disrupt enemy supply lines. These aren't rumors. They're in the National Archives. Fast forward to 1996. The U.S. Air Force published a report called Weather as a Force Multiplier, Owning the Weather in 2025. This unclassified document, still available online, outlines a vision for controlling weather using aerospace technology. It mentions dispersing particles into the atmosphere to alter storms or climate. The Air Force later clarified this was speculative, not current policy, but it shows the idea was on their radar. Now let's talk patents. The U.S. Patent Office has granted dozens related to atmospheric modification. Take U.S. Patent 3899144 from 1975, powder contrail generation. It describes a method to create visible trails using metallic powders from aircraft. Or U.S. Patent 7645326 from 2010, which details dispersing aerosols to reflect sunlight and cool the planet. These aren't secret files. They're public records anyone can access. In 2023, the White House released a report mandated by Congress on solar geoengineering, methods to block sunlight and combat climate change. It discusses stratospheric aerosol injection, spraying particles like sulfur into the upper atmosphere. No, it's not happening yet, but the document proves it's being studied at the highest levels. If they say, "That is not happening yet," or "Is it in plans," or "Is it in testing phase," or something in that matter, that means just the opposite. Tennessee even passed a bill in 2024 banning intentional chemical releases into the atmosphere, citing federal research as a concern. So what about those sky streaks? Science says contrails form when jet exhaust meets cold, humid air, turning into ice crystals. But official studies, like this 2016 Environmental Protection Agency fact sheet, admit contrails can linger for hours, even spreading into cirrus clouds that affect climate. The question is, are we seeing just water vapor or something more? How are chemtrails dispersed? One idea points to passenger planes, those everyday jets taking you to vacation or business meetings. Official documents don't explicitly say airlines are spraying chemicals, but let's break down how it could work based on what we do know. Patents like U.S. Patent 3899144, the one about powder contrail generation, describes systems where chemicals can be mixed into jet exhaust. Picture this: a tank or cartridge installed near the engines, releasing a fine mist of particles mid-flight. It's not sci-fi, it's engineering. Modern planes already have systems to inject de-icing fluids or fuel additives. Adapting them to disperse aerosols wouldn't require a complete overhaul, just a tweak to the plumbing. What's in the mix? Historical programs like Operation Popeye used silver iodide, a compound still standard in cloud seeding today. In 2023, the White House Geoengineering report mentioned sulfur dioxide for reflecting sunlight. Some patents even list aluminum oxide or barium compounds for atmospheric effects. These aren't random guesses. They're chemicals tied to weather modification in public records. If passenger planes were used, these could be loaded into fuel or separate tanks, released at cruising altitude, 30,000 feet, where contrails already form. Why commercial flights? Scale and cover. Thousands of planes fly daily, crisscrossing the globe. Outfitting even a fraction of them could blanket wide areas without raising red flags. The beauty, or the catch, is that it's invisible to passengers. You'd never know if that trail out your window was just water vapor or something more. Could it be tested quietly? The Federal Aviation Administration and airlines oversee jet maintenance, and any modifications would need approval. But with climate research ramping up, like that White House report suggests, passenger planes could be the perfect delivery system. Here's the takeaway. Governments have modified weather before. They've researched it for decades, and the tech is patented. Does that mean every trail up there is a chemtrail? Not necessarily. But it does mean we should keep asking questions. Check out these documents yourself. The sky's not just a mystery, it's a library of evidence waiting to be read.